Now, for Aldebaran Park, great to be catching up with Duncan McPherson with the announcement of the Stallions for the 2026 season. Duncan, welcome.
Paul, greetings to you. And what are we now? 25th of August, and breeding season's right upon us.
Less than 2 weeks away. It's pretty exciting. It can be a little bit hard for people to get their head around it, I think, a couple of weeks earlier, but right now it is upon us, and it's an exciting season. And again, Aldebaran Park have assembled a great array of stallions. I think everyone tries to say it, but one for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, the bread and butter. Old Sky Valley still doing his job, and we'll talk about him later. And then we go to the absolute beauty. We've been able to, again, negotiate the availability of the two Swedish superstars in Calgary Games and Maharaja, and the continued support of Dancing in the Dark, who's now doing the job breeding job up in Sweden.
Yep.
And I'm sure we'll talk about him. And then obviously for the Kiwis, we've still got Frozen Seaman for Aldebaran Eagle over there, whose stats to continue to amaze everybody, and then Aldebaran Zeus, who's we're very much looking forward to some progeny landing on the ground at Aldebaran Park during the month of September and October. So we're very excited all round, and just an absolute pleasure to be able to renegotiate with the Swedes and ourselves and make sure that we give the genetic spread that Australasian trotting so deserves.
And we will touch on each of those horses with some pretty cool little stats about each and every one of those. For all your information, just go to aldebaranpark.com and you'll be able to follow the links there. The stallions are here on the drop down. You'll be able to go there, but everything from the farm is there as well. All the important information. There's news updates monthly, if not weekly, depending on what it is. So click onto there so you'll get updates, including international updates as well. So it's pretty important. aldebaranpark.com.
Yeah, we try and we do a newsletter once a month that we post on our website, and that gives a bit of a guide as to how the international stallions that we're standing perform. And obviously, we talk about the progeny that we produced and the siring statistics of our standing stallions. And we do that monthly, and it's there. And then obviously for each stallion, there's a section on each one of his deeds, and the current brochures are all there. Which is exciting. And then we're in the process of working with HRA to make sure that Aldebaran Park is represented on the Rise Stallion Selector. So having just secured those breeding rights, Southern Hemispherical rights to those Swedish stallions, we're in the process of organising with Rise for anyone to go on to the Stallion Selector and then have available, like all the other studs, and great for all the studs to have the availability of that process, and we're in the process of getting ourselves organised and up to speed on that at the start of the new season, Paul.
No. Right, let's get this started. Aldebaran Zeus, sighting son of Muscle Hill, out of the Viking Kronos mare in Zaya Boko. This horse did it everything. He raced right through. I think one of his best runs was nearly his last run, Duncan, where he ran second. He was a phenomenal horse. But that Muscle Hill line's so important to Australasian harness racing.
Yeah, and the brood, I mean, both on the stallion side, but also on the broodmare side, but concentrating on the stallion side. Zeus was a wonderful horse. He took us around the world, and we're very excited to have some of his progeny, due to be on the ground up at the farm. And the same thing we've always said every year, whether it's him or the other stallions, if you'd like to come and physically see the progeny as they hit the ground as young foals, Mel and Danny are more than accommodating, and that's sometimes is the curiosity that people need to access the foals and have a look. It's all right to say one thing, but to actually physically see them. And you've had the pleasure of seeing, the walnut foals when they were first born, and then seeing them as yearlings, and now they're, heading for rising 2-year-olds. So, very exciting. And again, Aldebaran Zeus, what can we say? And yes, he did it everywhere, and took us around the world, and 4 sub 155 miles and 52 and change at the Hammerhead when he rolled Just Believe was probably one of his most brilliant runs, and he had a purple patch there for a period of time that enabled him to go to the international Yonkers International over in America. So a great story and a great fillip for the farm, and well done to Mel and Danny, who put so much work into him and the rest of the place, but particularly him as a young horse. And I can't knock the deeds of Brent Lilly and the team and Tracy over there at Lilly Racing Stables. They took him under their wing, and the beauty of it is that Trace still comes up, and once a month Zeus gets his carrots and a couple of apples from the Lilly clan, and he's part of the family, and that's exactly how we like him to be. So every opportunity for the discerning breeder, and his fresh semen is available both in Australia and New Zealand. And as for him and the other stallions, we've registered all our stallions in Australia to be eligible for New Zealand size stake. The program over there, it's a great opportunity if you get the right progeny here to know that you can be register your foal over for a New Zealand size stake and then cross the Tasman and compete in those juvenile races over there. And credit to Pat Driscoll and also to us, the trotters. We're making them available as we can, and giving everybody the opportunity to not only access our stallions but also access Yabby Dam's stallions and have that opportunity to dual race across both sides of the ditch.
And it is very exciting. We might touch on a couple of those latest ones, results out of that sort of cross-pollination as well that have happened just recently. We said there before about the New Zealanders. Aldebaran Eagle, Duncan, this horse, you and I continue to sing the praises. Number one, Muscle Hill. So that goes back with the Aldebaran Zeus, and we want people to be aware of that. This horse just continues to do an amazing job everywhere. Headed up, I think, with Rockin' With Attitude. She's a bonny wee mare, as the Kiwis would say. She just continues to do a great job. But Gatesy's Gem, Ideology, winners just continue to come from everywhere. And like you find, Duncan, those 100,000 plus earners that people probably don't even know a lot about.
Well, I mean, reoffenders over there as well in South Australia. And I was just talking to Ryan Ryhorrick yesterday, and Ideology's, I think he's 7 from 8 reoffenders, something like 8 from 12.
Mm.
And whilst we, sometimes scorn South Australian racing, to have the top 2 juveniles in South Australia where the reoffend Ideology won a $15,000 race on Saturday night, and 3 in a row on the run for him. So, Ryan's absolutely tickled pink. And then over in New Zealand, I mean, as I said to you yesterday, Paul, on the stallion list over there, the earnings per starter, Aldebaran Eagle ranked 2nd on the trotting list with his average earnings per starter just over 53,000 for his 3 starters. So, and we continue to breed to him over there with our mares, and he just keeps doing the job here, and there's no reason why in New Zealand they shouldn't be looking at him and taking the opportunity. We won't keep his semen available forever, but it'd be encouraging if the discerning breeder there could do what they need to do and support that stallion over there this year. And there's not many stallions on either side of the Tasman that breed, Oaks and Derby winners, and you've got Gatesy's Gem and Rockin' With Attitude who've done the lot, and Gatesy's Gem's back and due to race in free-for-alls in Victoria in the next few weeks, so we'll be very interested to see. And obviously with Rockin' With Attitude, she was up at the Inches, so those mares and the young horses that are coming through out of Aldebaran Eagle in Australia and New Zealand are doing a super job. And as you said, another Muscle Hill, but we had the pleasure of actually buying him at the yearling sales, so it gives us a greater thrill to actually purchase him, raced him in America, raced in the Hambo, and then bring him down here and see what job he's doing here.
No, absolutely. Aldebaran Jensen, Aldebaran Boyd, Dichotomy, Aldebaran Dexter, Mystery Fred, all of those $100,000 plus earners, and not one of those is finished yet. They're still racing. Dichotomy, he ran 3rd just the other night, so she's stepping out. And for the New Zealand viewers, I know it'll be very exciting that you want to lick it, touch it, feel it, smell it sometimes. Rockin' With Attitude, Lucy is heading across to New Zealand this summer, so that will be very exciting. They'll be able to see the mare, I think get probably a better feel for her, because she's a ripper to be around. She's such a kind filly, and really exuberates what Eagle is.
And I think if you've got an Aldebaran Eagle filly, given his bloodline coming out of the US, I think that the genetic, if you get a filly, is something to really put your arms around and hang on to, because you're not going to get a lot of opportunities coming out of some super sire Muscle Hills, and it's the sons of Muscle Hill that are running on in America now and breeding on, and we've just got to continue to be mindful that there's not a lot of Muscle Hills in the stallion ranks down here, albeit the jobs that they're doing. So yeah, big investment, and we're looking forward to again continuing to race his progeny. And I was talking to Ryan Ryhorrick, as I said earlier, Aldebaran Dexter's aiming at all the country cups over in South Australia. He's won over 100,000. And as you said earlier, Mystery Fred's put a picket line over in Perth when he went across from Victoria. So they're racing on, and we're looking forward to continued results. And we'll obviously be watching what's going on with great interest when Lucy goes to over to New Zealand.
No, absolutely. Right, Sky Valley. he's just doing a phenomenal job, this horse. He's a farm favourite. I know that. He stands for the $2,000, which is ridiculous. He just continues to do the job, Duncan, and it's amazing. And I've got this little one here that a lot of people aren't aware of. This is the national top 20 as of today, this morning, which is Tuesday. I can't even tell you the date, the 25th of August.
Yep.
He is still sitting second on the trotters. Individual winners, you can see it there that he is 34 winners from 66 starters. So just doing a phenomenal job. Stands for $2,000. You must be so proud of this horse and what he's been able to achieve over the journey, mate.
I think it's important to it's a sustained effort by him over the total journey, and he's obviously been. The broodmares that he's been to have never necessarily been the upper end broodmares, but they are absolutely perfect for the hobbyist and or the breeder that's interested in getting value for money. But I think it's also worth noting that a lot of these the vouchers that have been the breeding vouchers that have been given out by Harness Racing Victoria, a lot of those are into owners that have had broodmares win those races, and whether they be at Maryborough or the restricted races or the lower NR raters, you've got the opportunity to come to Sky Valley. And when he's got a 52% winner strike rate this season, and you're going to get your thick bred bonus back, then you're going to be, and you use your voucher to purchase the semen. How can you lose? You're already in front. So I'm encouraging the breeders who have got those vouchers to go and support Sky Valley. He's pretty much going to give you a guaranteed result. And, and with horses like Alrighty, who have recently won multiple Metro wins, and he's a 4-year-old and obviously going places, Sky Valley just keeps doing the job, and who can argue with his performance and his statistics at this point in time?
No, and on the dam side of things, as far as some of the winners he's been able to leave, he's the dam sire of the mother of I'm Bobby and Bangles, Just a Bit Touchy, Money the Munster, and I Am Hellbound. All of those horses are progressive horses that continue to get better and better. I know I'm Bobby's given Eddie Tap one of the great thrills, and of course there's a sister to that horse as well that goes pretty good as well. Won quite a few as well this year, so he does it both sides.
Oh, I think that a lot of those horses that you've just touched on are competing at Group 1 and Inter Dominion level.
Yep.
And I think that's most important, and Alrighty is definitely headed there as well. And then you've got the number of $50,000 and $100,000 earners. You've got to stop counting them. So he's done a super job, and well, he's a bit long in the tooth, but I tell you what, for the discerning breeder with those vouchers and you're looking for a result, then I can't more recommend Sky Valley to those people as we go forward.
I'll get into trouble from someone for saying this, but he's a bit better than you and I, mate. He's not showing his age, that's for sure.
Well, you'll get in trouble with me for starters, Paul. So you want to get a mirror and have a good look at it, I reckon, mate.
Rightio. So he is available. He is not available in New Zealand, but here for the Australian viewers and breeders. So be aware of that, and sending freshly chilled semen. Okay, frozen semen. And being able to secure again for the second year the 2021 Swedish Horse of the Year in Calgary Games, Duncan. You must have been rapt to be able to secure this horse for a second year and and a commitment from the breeders in Sweden, and a very, very exciting up and coming stallion.
Well, it's a big effort, and I've got to thank Manhammer Stateri and the team up there. Without their support, they've been great supporters from Manhammer for many, many years of Aldebaran Park. We've had a long, nearly 2-decade relationship with them, if you like. And I think it's fundamental for people to know that his book is fully closed in Europe, as is the next stallion we'll talk about in Maharaja, but we'll just go back to Calgary again. So, I mean, he's now leaving winners not only in Sweden and around Europe, but also over in the US, which is most important. He's in demand at the yearling sales in both countries, in the US and over in Europe. And there was a recent sale last week up in Sweden where Calgary Games and Maharajas were two of the most in demand stallions behind Tactical Landing at that particular sale up there. So for the opportunity that we have here in Australia to get access to both these guys, but particularly Calgary Games as the youngest stallion of the two, it's a great outcome. We're looking forward. There was quite a few matings last year. I think there's 5 or 6 foals that are due to hit the ground, which is very exciting. We're part of it, and I'm encouraging people to have a look at him and understand that this is an opportunity that may not be around next year. It all depends on us to be able to go up and renegotiate again. His service fee we advertise in Swedish crowns. That's generally the way things are done up there, along with a booking fee and the semen transport fee. And also we've highlighted the eligibility for Vic bred and New Zealand size stakes. So again, you breed here to Calgary Games and or Maharaja and Dancing in the Dark for that fact. And then you've got the opportunity to take these genetics and race on both sides of the Tasman. For the New Zealanders, we're currently in process of arranging or ensuring that the semen we have here in Australia is available to be cleared to New Zealand. I'll put that out there. We've had a couple of inquiries from New Zealand, and we're working extremely hard as we speak to ensure that we have the clearance, the veterinary clearance from the collection station up in Sweden for us to be able to move some of the genetic across to New Zealand. So stand by, watch this space, and when that's consummated and finalised, we'll let the Kiwis know. But we're pretty confident we can get there. But worst comes to worst, we've definitely got him here in Australia, and we're looking forward to another great year. And Aldebaran Park ourselves will be patronising all our imported stallions on the basis that if we don't, well, then we might get an opportunity next year. So we don't want to let the opportunity pass.
Before we get off him, just a couple of little stats. He's currently sitting second, actually, in the size ranks in Sweden, trailing Maharaja, which we'll get to in very, very shortly. His preferred distances, well, he won 10 races. I think pretty important for the Australasian viewers, though, 7 of those over the 2100, which is traditionally what we race over. I mean, he fits that the US horses are always over that mile. This horse has that staying power. He has one over 2600 as well, but he liked that little bit of a shorter trip as well, which is pretty exciting. And then in North America, he's had 24 foals, 18 starters, 9 of those are won, and of those 9, 7 have been better than 2 minutes. I mean, and that's his first crop. So that's just amazing.
Yeah, no, he's up and going, definitely. And, as you've said, he's a mid-range distance specialist, if you like, and that's a lot of the racing, as you've extolled. There's mile racing up there, but he was far better over the longer trip. And I think that without doubt that it's an extremely exciting time for an opportunity, and we'll be doing whatever we can to make sure that we breed our broodmare band to him and to Maharaja. But the fact that both these stallions are number 1 and number 2 in Sweden tells the Australian breeder that we've got the right genetic down here, and this is your opportunity to come in and have a crack at it. Just so that we understand, it's around 13,000 for the stud fee, and then there's those additions on. So you're looking at around 17,000 all up. But then you look at the results that he's going to achieve, and this is pretty much another once in a lifetime opportunity. So good luck to all those breeders out there, and particularly when we look forward, we've got foals on the ground by him. We'll have more foals this year. And again, as we said earlier, if anyone wants to go up to Aldebaran Park and have a look at the progeny as they hit the ground, by all means, you're more than welcome to give Mel and Danny a call, and we'll look forward to showing you around.
That price range too is similar for Maharaja, champion sire in Sweden this year, leading sire, but that is a similar price. So we will get that part over and done with if you like. But I think a pretty important stat for this horse too is that he is also not just the leading sire, so he's leaving plenty of winners, but the 2025 Horse of the Year in Sweden in Dream Mine is one of his progeny. So, I think he's doing an amazing job, and, a really must see for people to come and have a look at.
Yeah, I mean, he's 7 times leading Swedish stallion, and, you'll talk about some of his latest deeds up there, but to be number 1 in Sweden over that period of time, and we'll touch on it, he's left the 2025 Horse of the Year up there in Dreamwise, and these are opportunities that we've really got to grasp, and the amount, as I said earlier before, the effort that we go to try and get these stallions down here. And it's a bit, I mean, again, like other stud owners, we do everything we can to offer world-class genetics. And then, the stats, if anyone's looking for them, we can assist with some matings or some technical information if anybody wants to know more about either of those, Maharaja or Calgary Games. And if there's plenty of information available on the Manhammer Stateri website as well. So if you Google Manhammer, and those links are in the Aldebaran Park details, by all means, go and see what you can find out, and we're here to help you.
Yep, leading sire in the last 7 years, sire of 6 millionaires. It's not just Dream Mine, the 2025 Swedish Horse of the Year, though. He's won 1.26 million. You've got horses like the Accolades, major wins as well. They're good names. They're actually good names to remember because that's what they've been doing. But, he's the real deal, this horse, and really exciting opportunity for, down under some of the southern hemispherical harness racing.
Yeah, and again, we've got to thank Manhammer for their support and hopefully there's other stallions up there and there's that we're trying to talk to them about to bring down in future years, but let's deal with what we've got at the moment. Number 1 and number 2 in Sweden are here in Australia, standing here frozen semen, again available this year in Victoria. So, and then, if we can, as I said with Calgary Games, if we can get the clearance, the veterinary clearance from the labs, then we'll have that semen available, frozen semen available, hopefully in New Zealand this season as well.
Son of Readily Expressed in Dancing in the Dark, fourth fastest horse ever imported into Australia. A trotter, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep, exciting horse, and he's got the runs on the board as well, Duncan. Firstly, though, before we get on to Dance, I was doing a bit of homework for this segment, and I did a video when he arrived at Maryborough, and he'd been in Australia. He'd been in Australia a little while because of quarantine, but he was just basically out, I think, only a week. And you took him across to Maryborough and showcased him. And geez, he was a cool dude, wasn't he?
Well, he was out the day before, Paul. So
that's what it was. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. No, he was, and his temperament was first class, and that's what allowed him to be able to do that. But yeah, no, his progeny are just starting to get to the racetrack. As you touched on, his first racehorse to hit the track was Dance the other week or last week at Charlton. Very exciting. He raced on Monday and then he backed up and ran fourth in the Metro 2-year-old at Melton on Saturday night. So, and you'll see him here. He just gives him a bit more rein and he just moves away. But very exciting for the breeders, very exciting for the owners. And the future's in front of Dancing in the Dark. As everybody knows, he was fresh here for a few years. The owners took him back to Sweden. He served in excess of 40 mares up there last year, and he got there late. And then obviously we're ready to go for him again coming up the next breeding season up there. And they're pretty exciting. And Dance got airtime in Trav Rondon on the major newspaper up in Sweden and also on the Manhammer website. So they're watching what's going on with Dancing in the Dark in the Southern Hemisphere, and we encourage people to, again, consider him. He's a more affordable option than the other two, but he raced in America and not in Europe, and he's only just starting to get his opportunity to leave his siring deeds in Europe. So a young stallion on the rise, and no doubt, an exciting opportunity for breeders in the Southern Hemisphere.
That winner, Dance, won the horse drew 7, so he drew outside the front for anyone wondering, and led within 200 metres. He crossed the field. But the other part is they were older horses. I think he was the only 2-year-old in that field, and he actually, he looked the most mature and smartest of the lot, and actually beat the older horses. I think that's a pretty important part as well.
Yeah, and I mean, not only did he beat them on his own merits, and he wasn't overawed at his first race start, put it that way, and then to back up 5 days later and run fourth at Metro level was another good effort. So, the future's in front of the Dancing in the Darks, and again, we've offered them at the yearling sales over the last few years. We've bred back, and then whilst we concentrated on Maharaja and Calgary Games last year with our broodmare Ben on the basis that we may not get an opportunity to get to either of those two stallions, we'll be mixing it up a bit this year, and there will be some Dancing in the Dark broodmares from Aldebaran Park. Definitely being served by him. So we're looking forward to an even spread of our imported stallions to give everyone an opportunity further down the track to acquire such genetics.
No, absolutely. Duncan, for people to get more information, the best place to go to is I'm just trying to find this button here, the Aldebaran Park website, and then go to the contact at the back there, and all the information is there. That's the easiest way. We can turn around and do the all of the phone numbers, and that all phone numbers are there. Just go to the contact us component of it. All inquiries, you can do an email there if you like. You tick you're not a robot, but also get in touch with Danny and Mel and make the effort to go up there and have a look at some of these progeny. I've seen that Calgary Games. You'll see a lot more of those sorts of horses over there, but you get to see Zeus, Sky Valley. the whole lot. So it's a pretty important part. But get in touch with the team, and especially if you're in that Shepparton area, don't be scared to go across there and have a look at the beautiful farm and beautiful stallions and the foals.
We're here to help the industry, and we have been for many years, and we continue to support clubs right around Australia with their stallion auctions, if you like, or their stallion tenders. And whether they're in Darling Downs or in Pinjarra, we're here to assist, and we're here to assist the local community as well. We can offer, multiple mare discounts for Sky Valley because he stands there and he's done his job. And so, for those people with their breeding vouchers, make yourselves available. This is an opportunity whilst those vouchers exist, and if you've got one, come and cash it. We're more than happy to help you.
No, absolutely. An Aldebaran Eagle only available in New Zealand. Be aware of that. And for the New Zealand breeders that sell horses at the sales, Aussies love them, can't get them. You don't have to be a rocket. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand what I'm trying to say, Dunk.
If Aldebaran Eagle semen was available in Australia, we would have sold every single vial of it or every single tube of it. So it is an amazing story. But no, he's definitely doing the job, and opportunities are there. We can't make people do it, but we just encourage people to take it while it's there.
No, Dunk, thank you very much, mate.
Always a pleasure, and we're hot to trot at Aldebaran Park.